I want to mention for international speaking or people who don't speak Spanish, how can they read this and understand this? Did you figure something out?
Yes, if you scroll down, we added this bar, it's from Google, and you just select the language.
Woohoo.
And if you want to see it, for instance, on English, it changes the website.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Julia Balaz from Galactic Astrology, and today I'm joined by Hector Manjarrez and Mônica Duarte, who are going to share with us the beautiful surprise in terms of Galactic Astrology website project that they've been working on for many, many months in order to bring Galactic Astrology calculator to Spanish-speaking community. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Hector, first of all, who has been an incredible helping hand behind the scenes for Galactic Astrology community for several years now. We'll hear his story. And also Mônica, who came on board to support Hector in terms of Spanish translation of some of the Galactic Astrology information. So we have a lot of information to share with you here today. Welcome, Hector. Welcome, Mônica.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Julia. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Such a pleasure. So we, for any newbies here, we came up with the Galactic Astrology courses several years ago after I've done plenty of research and work in terms of manually calculating astrological alignments and position of stars based on birth year. It was a lot of nitty-gritty mathematical work that was taking many, many hours, and I was teaching this how-to step-by-step process in the original course that I've created. And when I published the course and saw how challenging it is to teach it, I was praying for someone to be guided to my course and to help me with building a system, a software that will make it easy for people to calculate this. And lo and behold, within literally 2 weeks after I published the course, I received an email from Hector here who said, hey, I am loving your course. I enjoyed it, but the calculation takes so long. But actually, I'm a programmer, kind of system developer. And if you want, I can help you with creating a calculator. So it was truly a godsend, such a gift. And we have been friends and working behind the scenes ever since. And there's still so much development ahead of us. We have big plans that we'll continue to share as years to come. But not so long ago, Hector surprised me with a message that he has been working on a Spanish version of the Galactic Astro Chart website that we have. So I'll let you share your story, Hector. Where would you like to start? What would you like to share in terms of how you came to Galactic Astrology and how it impacted your life?
Well, I was born in Mexico City, is the largest city in the world. I'm a software developer. I've been developing for almost 30 years now. I have a lot of passion for new technology, for computers, AI, virtual reality. I always feel attracted to all the esoteric and mystic practices, UFOs, paranormal, witchcraft, all the good. But my top two, I will pick numerology and astrology. I always love those two, since I've been a little kid. I always felt attracted for numbers, through my whole life, I always been fully involved on both. I think both they can go together, numerology and astrology. You can find a lot of good stuff, on both. So I would like to share a few experiences that I have in my life, how everything started. I remember since I was, I don't even think I was even here, you know, and I remember this like bright memory from my, when I see my parents, like they were like driving to this place in Mexico, and suddenly something went wrong with their car, and the car just like fell on this cliff. And you know, my mother, I think my sister at that time, she was probably like 1 or 2 years old, and this was before I was born, like probably like 1 year. And I remember seeing everything, how the car drove off from you know from it was a small cliff, and then the car like turned on the side, and I saw like some people, you know, who were like living close to that area, and they came and they helped my parents, you know, and my sister, and they got it out and say, "Are you guys okay?" And they say, "Yeah." And I remember all that, and every time, you know, I was talking to my mother and say, "Hey, you remember when this happened? This, you know, this accident on the highway?" I said, "What are you talking about? I mean, you were not even here, you know. How do you remember that?" I say, "I swear I remember everything. Like I was there. I saw, you know, everything, and I can hear like the animals because they have like this little farm, these nice people." And I hear like the roosters, you know, the chickens, pigs, everything, you know, around. And I remember, you know, like a bright picture, like I was there. I said, "Well, that's not possible." I said, did you ever hear us talking?" I said, no, I remember that. So I think that was my first experience, you know, like for me, until this day, I remember that. And that was my first, I guess, encounter, you know, I guess you can call like paranormal, you
Yeah,
know?
paranormal, your first-hand experience with the other side and knowing that life continues, consciousness continues beyond the physical. Amazing.
So another experience, it came a little bit later. I was probably on elementary school, or maybe, yeah, I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. And I used to ride my bike with my neighbor. And we used to race all the time on the street. And, you know, with little kids, we like to go like race to each other. Um, so that day, you know, I was doing the same. We were racing, you know, there is like this like corpse on the street. And I was actually like, "Hey, I'm winning. I was on the front, like very excited. And out of the nowhere, I see this car who came, you know, on the other side, and he hit me, you know, and I flew away from one side to the other from the street, you know, and I fell on the floor, unconscious. I mean, of course, I don't know what happened to my neighbor. It seems like he got scared and he left. He didn't say anything, you know. He just got really scared and freaked out, and you know, and all I remember is like later on, I was still feeling conscious, and I start to see like some people around me, but it wasn't the people. You know, I know later on I realized some of the people who were around, they came to see what happened, but I saw these like blue beings, you know, around me, and they were like in a circle, and they were looking at me, and they were doing something, you know, on me, like maybe they were helping me. I didn't know at that time what was going on, you know, because I said, maybe I'm dreaming, you know. And later on, you know, I guess the ambulance came and they took me to the hospital. But I remember that, you know, they came and they actually helped me. And I always think if it wasn't for them, probably I wouldn't be here, you know, because it seems like that they protect me because the car hit me like hard, and I flew away to the other side, like, and you know the impact was also like I remember I have like this big scar on my cheek for a long time, but like probably covering all this side, you know. like it turned like black. It looks like awful, because that's where I hit the cement on the floor. So I would say, that was a big experience for me, and I strongly believe those were like star seeds beings, who they were through my aid and they helped me, and I'm very grateful, for them. And later on, through all my life, I've been having like different experiences. Some, I probably will need like a whole like podcast, to tell all my experience, but I pick just a few, the next one, I will call like the Premonition experience, and that happened when I was with my first wife. She was actually from Mexico, and she was pregnant. And one time we were just, I was just laying down, just as usual. And then I got this like vivid dream, but it was a little scary, At that time, I wasn't prepared for that, but it felt for me like I was having a nightmare. There, I saw that like these beings telling me on the dream, hey, your child is something is gonna happen and it's gonna die. And I thought it was a horrible nightmare. And I woke up crying, I remember. And I told my wife, hey, I have this terrible dream, awful nightmare, and I said this, like, these beings came around and they told me, hey, your baby is gonna die, you have to be prepared for that. And she said, well, don't worry about it. It was just a dream, it was just a dream. I said, okay, well, I completely forgot about that. And later on, when my ex-wife was around, like, we have a baby girl, one time we decided to go with her family to this vacation home, they have, and we stayed there for like a few days. Our daughter was probably around, I would say, like 8 or 9 months old. It wasn't even a year. And she got like very, very sick, extremely, extremely sick. It was some kind of like a bronchitis or very bad, infection. And unfortunately, we were so away. So in those places, they don't even have like good hospitals. There is a lot of, like a rural community over there. So we tried to do everything we could, and she died, And we at that time, I completely forgot about the premonition. It was a really tough moment because, I was very young. I was probably like, I would say 20 or 21 years old, and said she was probably around the same age. So we start to blaming on each other, like it was your fault, it was my fault, it was, we were just like, really very young. So, after that, things got back in our marriage, and we split, a few years after that. I think that was probably part of the reason, and later on, I realized I understood, why it was necessary for her to live, and then later on, it was probably in my previous job. That's gonna be my last, I guess, experience gonna be sharing. I got laid off for my previous job, and I remember it was like a very tough time for me, because that never happened, and being like the main guy from the house, the dad, I said, well, I really, it was like very hard. I was probably like around 9 months, I was looking for another job, and unfortunately, I couldn't find anything on the first month, and I keep like trying to find another one. So I felt like deep, you know. It's just like the water was going on my on my head, and I was like drowning. So that was probably the time when I got like one of my biggest awakenings, or I would call like a star seeds awakening, because I decided to, through all my life, I always been like on and off, sometimes, I remember times when I was like doing a lot of, like esoteric things, like uh, meditations, rituals. But this time I felt like, something clicked me. I said, I have to go back, and I need to do something, to something with my life. So I started doing like try to go back to that. And every time I go to Mexico, because, I wasn't doing anything, so I said, I think I need to take a break. And I went back to Mexico for like a month. I took like a big break. And every time I go to Mexico, something happened. I mean, something good happened. It actually gives me like really good energy, and it recharged me, because it happened other times when, it wasn't as bad as this one, but, every time I came, and I was like more refreshed, and, I'm ready to attack the world. So I did the same thing. I went back, and I was trying to look for answers. And I went with my sister. She had like this kind of like a medical appointment, and I went with her, and we were just waiting for the bus, because they have like good transportation. And then suddenly I see this guy next to me, and he was this guy on a wheelchair, like by himself. And I start looking at him, and the bus comes, stops, and I see the guy, like having this like strength. And he took his chair, and he got inside the bus like really quick, and he know how to manage everything just in a wheelchair. And I said like, what? And then he got inside these are like a short buses. They are not like the regular like school bus. They are like a kind of like a minivan buses, if it's maybe like 10 people inside and they have space. So they have like a slide opening, so just slide the door. But the guy was able to jump inside without any help. And, and check this out. Not only that, at some point, he got off from the bus. And in Mexico, the roads are like very dangerous, and they are busy, almost everywhere. And you have to be very careful, because people over there, they don't care about you. They care about themselves. And you got to do like the chicken run if you want to cross the street, from one side to the other one, because they want to stop. So I see this like extremely busy road, and the guy got out from the wheelchair. And then, the side from one side to the other was alone, and it was full of cars everywhere, like traffic lights. And the guy managed to, by himself, with just moving the wheels like really fast, he goes from one side to the other one. I say, it blew my mind. I realized something. I said, oh my God, it gave me like, this like great feeling or awakening. I say, I can't believe that guy can do that. And look at me, I got everything in my hands, my legs, and, I should be able, to do whatever I need to do. That opened my mind. It was like a big opening, that is seen, and I'm very grateful to see that. So after that, I started like doing like, I joined this website, Udemy, and I started like taking like a lot of like different classes. After that incident, luckily, I found my current job, a few months after that. I mean, everything worked okay. And at the Udemy, I found I took probably tons of different classes, like Reiki, all different kinds of Reiki, and that's where I saw your class, the star seeds, astrology. And that changed my life. I remember on my birthday, I believe it was probably like two years ago when I signed up for the class. And, and that's how, everything happened.
Yeah, so a little bit of that story is actually on our website, galacticastrochart.com, where we have a little section about Hector, where he mentions this finding it on Udemy, and then seeing how time-consuming calculating stars alignments was. And then we started working together, and he helped building the website that so many people now are using. So thank you so much for that. And I'm so glad you shared some of those personal stories that I didn't hear before. I think it just gives a nice feeling for who you are as a person and what it is like for me to get in touch with you on our meetings. Usually for me, it's a midnight date with Hector where we talk about the website and things and plans we have with it, any things that we are fixing. Because you're in America, which state? Do you want to say where you're based now?
I'm in Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah. So time difference for us where Hector finishes his work, and for me it's midnight when we usually get to chat and work on some things that we want to progress with the Galactic Astro Chart calculator. So so you always had that vision that you would love to bring galactic astrology to Spanish-speaking community. We've been talking about that for a long time, and then you kind of went silent for maybe half a year or longer, and only recently you showed me all the amazing progress you've made behind the scenes and how you invited Mônica to come on board. So Mônica, would you like to share, what was it like for you to meet with Hector when he approached you? Was it a hard decision or easy yes for you to help him with that? And how was the whole process? It's probably 6 months that you've been working together, or is it shorter? Do you remember? Tell us more.
It was a very, very, very easy decision.
Good.
Yeah, it's about 6 months. We started in April or May, something like that. But it was a very, very easy decision. So here we are.
So much for being the angel behind the scenes. And just for those who may have missed Galactic Ambassadors podcast, where I interviewed Mônica before, where she shared her life story and her connection to spirituality and her psychic abilities and the different qualifications that she has on top of being a quantum soul guidance certified practitioner. You can find her on renascaratlante.com website. So you also offer Galactic Astrology Soul Readings, right? So Hector was going through the website of our certified practitioners and reaching out to Spanish-speaking members to help him out. And so happy that for this collaboration. Would you like to shall we share the website first? Hector, you can maybe show some of the features on it, and then we come back to Mônica because her particular role was translating information about different galactic races, because Hector always wanted to have a section where starseeds, and especially complete newbies that start exploring information about different star beings, that they have a place where they can have information easily accessible, where they can learn about these different star races. So that was Mônica's role here. Would you like to share screen, Hector?
Before I share my screen, I just want to give a little bit of introduction how the website started. I know you mentioned a few
Go
things.
ahead, yeah.
I have the dates. I wrote down the dates,
Right.
and I would like to share that. So, like you say, we have a few conversations, when I I told you, hey, what about, I see there is like a big, like Spanish community, and I always have in mind it will be a good idea to do a website in Spanish, for them. And it was just off and off, like you say. I talked to you, and then we got busy, like doing other things on the other website. But finally, I purchased the domain, the Astrología Galactica.com in May 19, 2022. And something like around the same time, you purchased the Galactic Astrology.com soon after that, after I did that. So I think that was kind of cool,
Synchronicity, yeah.
because it's actually it means the same thing,
Yeah. And
so,
it came to me first, it was May 2021. So it's like May is your activation date or something, always big for you. Same for me.
and also, I have a few doubts after I purchased the domain. I wanted to work on that, but I was trying to figure out how to do it. I said, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it by myself, because it seems like a big challenge, for me. And that's when I have the idea, when I saw some of the practitioners, and I say, oh, well, it seems like some of them, they speak Spanish, and maybe I can talk to them, and maybe, is they are willing to do. But I was just still, thinking, should I do it, or should I do it or no? Should I wait maybe later? So the year came by, 22, and nothing happened really. And it was on 20, this year, when I felt like the need, I felt guided to find some collaboration. I said, well, and I saw a few podcasts. I remember seeing Mônica and the other lady, what's her name?
Valeria,
yeah. And I said, maybe I can talk to them, maybe I can ask them if they will be interested on participate, because that would be a great help for me to get it done. So Mônica, she's the one who contacted me in April this year. And she asked me a few questions related to the other website, like, some technical stuff, like, and I remember I asked, hey, the colors, do you know is it supposed to be this color on the stars? And you say, oh, it was supposed to be that one. So that's how everything started with Mônica. That was like the first point of contact through that, So then I contact Valeria, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to do it because, she was busy working on other projects. So then I asked Mônica too, if she was interested in participate, and she told me, yeah. And I said, oh, wow, it's so much gratitude, towards Mônica. So we began working on the website from May through November this year. That was the timeline. Yeah, May was the first, and that's when we did all the changes. So now I'm ready to share. So this is the new website.
Woohoo! Astrologiagalactica.com. Mm-hmm.
Astrología Galactica.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can see we are listed on this is the homepage, and we have listed all the constellations we have on the website. They are like hot links. So that means if you move the mouse over, you can actually it takes you to that particular constellation. Like for instance, if I go to Andromeda, and if I click, it will open, the Andromeda constellation.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
same with the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
So I'm gonna do a little demo. Like you guys can see, this is like the main feature of the whole website, which is like the Galactic report. It's very simple, very easy to do. I'm gonna do a quick demo, I guess, with my
Yes. So
birthday
for
details.
people who would like to see which of the stars on our list were aligned to their natal astrological chart when they were born, they put in their birth details, and our system will calculate the alignments for them. We don't store the data. This free version doesn't keep the data for us, so it's anonymous, safe.
Yes. At this time, we don't, but there is plans later on.
Mm-hmm.
So after you type all your details, you just click this, and it's gonna generate all your natal chart details. And then it's gonna show you the report, the galactic report, and you can see all the constellations. And also we added some like hot links as well. Like for instance, on me, I have a Aries, and then you click on that, it takes you, to the constellation if you want to learn more about that particular constellation.
Amazing. I love it.
And also it has the star, the name of the star that belongs to that constellation, and also some like galactic rays, like you can see. We're still working with some who we don't know the names, so maybe at later time we can like get that information,
So for some stars, there's channeled material available where we are aware collectively of a name of humanoid beings that are associated with that star system. So after the little emoticon of an alien head, next to it is a name of that star race. So in the capital, first, it's the name of a constellation. The next name is the name of a star that was used in that calculation, and then name of a star race, beings that are connected. Very good.
And if you notice, if you compare against the current Galactic Astrology website, we are using a different approach to generate the natal birth chart details or data. I'm gonna just show the current one. And as we go here, on this one, we have the usual, the one with the AstroSeed widget. And this is a big surprise for, the
whole community.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll explain briefly. Actually, by the time many of the viewers will be seeing this, it'll already be updated also on the original English website. When we built the system, we received a permission from astro-seek.com website owner who created a special widget for us that we were using. So it was a complex process behind the scenes that looked like this. But recently we have Hector found and approached a program developer, Timothy, who is helping us to build our own astrological data behind the scenes. So the whole system is going to become more straightforward, and there'll be less steps for our users. So this will be all implemented by the end of 2023 on both websites. So we're very excited about that.
Yes, how cool is that, right?
Yes. Woohoo!
We're bringing this website to the next level, both with this new approach.
Yeah.
It's gonna save a lot of time on clicks.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do like copy and paste it. Woo! know.
Yes. There's just one thing I want to mention here, that we decided to leave this field here available and editable for people who want to change manually their house numbers or astro minutes, zodiac signs. Like, you can still manually edit that in case you use different system. We use Placidus and tropical astrology calculations, so we leave it there for users who want to manually change things. Go ahead.
So the next section is the constellations. I can like let Mônica, if you want to explain a little bit about it, and I just show, you know.
Okay. Here we begin with the page with 18, the most important constellations. And we are providing basic information. The idea here is have the information when we see the astrological chart and start to study about the constellations. So we have some characteristics of the star seeds, about the constellation, about astronomy, and some origins. And we have Andromeda, Cassiopeia, Aquila, Boots, and many others, the most important constellations. I'll have all this information from many books, from Helena Danan's books, Rodrigo Romo books, Campo Basso, and many others places where we found very serious information about these constellations. I think this, to start, it's very good.
Beautiful work. And I love that you guys included references at the end of each page. Whatever the resources you used were there, you brought it in, whether images, art, websites, if it's so people can then take it further and click on the links and study further the information that you got. Beautiful art selected. I love the maps of the stars that you included, some of the traditional information, mythology, and then the race star beings connected to this. So excited. I'm curious about planet Maldek section. Would you like to talk about that, Hector?
Yes, I decided to add this particular planet because it has a big influence on my life personally. You know, I know I was there on different times. I decided to add it on this website just to honor all the survivors and all the people who perished. You know, it was like a major disaster, you know, that happened. And if you don't know, the location of the planet Maldek was located, is where you see the asteroid belt. That's the remains, you know, of planet Maldek. And you can find online some information. Sometimes it's a little bit confused because there's like a tons of like theories about what really happened, you know. Some say it was destroyed by like evil races, or some they say they destroyed themselves because they were like playing with, you know, some like high-tech armaments, you know, or bombs or things like that. I mean, no matter what you find online, you know, the real truth is the planet actually got destroyed, you know, whatever was the reason. On this section, I just include something that it resonates with me. Like, is whenever you take the time to read it, is, I guess, one theory, but also I'm including something that it was revealed on my dreams. You know I was there, and I always was wondering about this like high technology, and I have big like elevators. Could they move like vertical and or horizontal, you know, both ways? And the buildings are like extremely tall. Sometimes I get vertigo in my dreams when I see how the elevator is moving all the way almost to the sky, and then it can move like sideways, you know, horizontal to another building, and it goes across other buildings. And I always had those dreams, and then when I read this book, you know, I mentioned that on this section. It talks about that. I say, oh my God, that's where I've been. That's Planet Maldek, you know. And also on all the like Akashic readings I have, or you know, Galactic readings, they told me, you know, about Maldek. So that's the reason I decided to include it, just to honor them, you know, like a tribute.
Really good. I'm glad you did. Beautiful work. Now, I just want to mention for international, you would probably get, so I'm sorry if I'm jumping straight into it. I want to mention for international speaking or people who don't speak Spanish, how can they read this and understand this? Did you figure something out?
Yes, if you scroll down, we added this like Google bar, you know, it's from Google, and you just select the language.
Woohoo.
And if you want to see it, for instance, on English, you know, it'll change the website.
Amazing.
Or any language you would like to see. Like,
that's a big selection, yeah.
I talked to Mônica, and she said the translation is pretty good. I mean, I don't know any Portuguese, but she seems like it's accurate, right, Mônica?
Yeah, in Portuguese, it's great. It's good.
I looked at Slovakian as well, and also I was impressed.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can try like different languages. It has like tones, you know, as you see here. And you can change it from here as well, you know.
Yes.
Place it in here, and it has.
So this new widget is also something that we are adding to our original Galactic Astro Chart website, right?
Yes, yes. I believe it's already live over there.
Thank you for that.
And you just click here, and you can just see the original.
Beautiful.
And you know, we have some information like the frequent questions, you know, for them in case they have. We just have a little bit, you know, explaining how to use the website, but it's like very simple. And also, if the user wants to learn more, you know, they can go to these classes, you know, the classes you offer, if they want to learn more about like galactic astrology or, you know, quantum soul guidance.
Very good. And what's the last tab on top?
It's just about Mônica and me.
That's a great picture.
I have the picture with the snake, and Mônica doesn't like that. She say, I don't like the snakes, you know. If it's gonna get here, you know.
50-50. Some people love them, some people hate them. Great.
Yeah.
And little stories about you and Mônica's links. That's really, really good.
Yes.
And so there is a little curiosity information that at the bottom of the page, we have a donate button. On both the galacticastrochart.com website, the original English version, and now on the Spanish version. So this one, I learned that Hector connects that to Mônica's PayPal account, which is so nice of you, Hector, to do that. So for anyone who, you know, the Spanish community, or even if you just select different language, and if you use this website and find it valuable and you keep returning to it and maybe even recommending it to others, if you can spare your gratitude and appreciation with financial donations, small or large, it'll be deeply appreciated, because Mônica really spent so much of her time and effort to build the constellations and star races websites, and you know, really beautiful, high standard work. So thank you very much for all that in advance. And then if you go to donate button on the English website, galacticastrochart.com, that button leads to Hector's PayPal account for. So again, if you use the reports often, if they helped you expand your consciousness, improve your life in some way, we would appreciate if you exchanged with Hector your generosity or appreciation for his work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Like Yula say, I strongly encourage everyone to, you know, if you want to donate for Mônica, because she deserves, you know, she made an amazing work helping me. And also I want to mention, I got a really wonderful and amazing Akashic Records reading with her, you know, and it was very, very, very good. I truly enjoy it. And I would like to also recommend other practitioners, you know, as well, who I have like other readings, you know, and it's always good because you always learn something new, you know.
Excellent. And I also want to say I had a really powerful Arcturian healing session with Mônica not so long ago and found it really good, with great follow-up email, lots of helpful information. So you're up for a treat with multiple services that Mônica offers. So thank you, Angel. Is there anything else you would like to share on the screen, Hector, or can we close the screen share? Is there?
Well, I guess lastly, I just want to mention in here, there is, I mean, it's hard to read, you know, I put like a small letters, but this just a dedication. We are dedicating this website to all the galactic races who they are always like taking care of us. Sometimes we forget, you know, like there has been like different like incidents outside our planet, you know, like asteroids coming and suddenly sometimes say, hey, the asteroid was supposed to hit Earth, but it suddenly like changed the project and it didn't hit Earth. This happens very often, you know. We are actually protected, you know, they take good care of us. That's something like a lot of us sometimes forgets, you know, like someone out there, you know, is actually taking care of us one way or another behind the scenes, you know. We don't see them, but we know they are there. So that's this dedication. And the second is in memory of the planet and Maldek, you know, survivors on that planet. We want to dedicate the website.
That's beautiful for you to mention that. Thank you. Excellent. So if you want to maybe stop sharing screen, I just want to ask you in closing, what's next? Do you have any other visions and plans for the calculator, for the website?
Yes, we're planning to add the user registration at later time. We like to offer that to, we're gonna request, you know, for them to first request to join the website. Just avoid like any like spamming, you know, and make sure the users are interested, you know. Sorry, it's gonna ask a few questions, and after that we can do a quick review, and you know, I'm sure it's gonna be okay, and we can give them access. And with that, they're gonna be able to save their chats, you know. That's like
Nice feature.
the main feature, you know. And later on, we may decide to add more constellations or maybe aspects, you know, depending. And also Mônica mentioned she would like to add more content, you know, not just Planet Maldek, maybe like the Galactic Federation or, you know, groups like that, who they are like helping us, you know, one way or another. So yeah, there's plans for sure.
Really good. I hope you will also be able to do this interview maybe in Spanish. So if I, you know, when it comes out, I'll share the link with my community too. And certainly for the viewers, if you've enjoyed getting to know Hector, learning about Mônica's beautiful contribution as well, we would appreciate your comments, likes, and shares if you pass the message on to your Spanish-speaking members. And we'll cheer you on with our future progress. Thank you very much for everything you're doing. I just want to mention the guitars behind you, because you didn't mention that you also have passion for music, right? And I only very recently saw your video interview with Akata Vesta on her channel. Rose of Venus is the podcast show where she held space for you to share a little bit about your music and beautiful songs that you shared. It was such a delightful interview.
We were just testing that, because she couldn't find anyone to be the first one. I said, I guess you gotta be me, you know.
I was
I'm
so
so grateful.
Yeah.
My sister.
Yeah, and is that a didgeridoo, or what is the instrument that is very long on top of the sofa?
Yes, that's the rain stick. If you turn sideways, you hear you want me to show you?
Please do, yeah. Beautiful piece. The sound is not coming through, unless you maybe bring it closer to the mic. No, still not. But that's okay. Beautiful piece. Where did you get it? Or what country is it connected to?
I believe this one comes from Peru.
Mm.
It was imported from Peru.
Very nice.
I used to have other ones, like smaller ones that I got from Mexico.
It's great that you follow your passion, you follow your excitement, and beautiful things are happening. You're connecting with great people, and we certainly are blessed to have you in our community. You've changed life so many people, Hector. We probably don't even have idea how many people, how much this passion and excitement and just willingness to be generous and helpful, it's really, you're making a big difference. So I'm so grateful for you both, and Mônica, for your humble heart, your kindness, your humility. It's inspiring. So I'll look forward to staying connected and sharing any more good news in the future as we continue to follow our passion.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you both for your time, and thank you all for watching. Take care. See you again soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.